From the earth, like grown, a sprout, a start, a new dawn. I would like to give Paul this unshown. I'm a true fan, and that, you know, and that I wouldn't tear him apart. Treat him like a decent human being, and that he's really the greatest in show business.
It sounds like you have sort of a crush on Paul McCartney.
Yes, that's true.
Hello, this is Paul McCartney.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed.
You look inside.
Way back in the late 50s, before he was a Wing or a Beatle, Paul McCartney was a member of John Lennon's skiffle group, the Quarrymen, a part-time lark that McCartney never dreamed would launch him on his life's work.
Well, I always used to be a bit dodgy because you was always like your father kind of saying, oh, you'll never make a living in music. You know, you've got to have something to fall back on. That was the expression. You know? So you always were encouraged to kind of do your exams and try to learn at school in case it all flopped. But when we first started out, we would be called what you call semi-pro, which was like, you know, you had a little bit of a job just in case, and then in the evenings you'd go and do something and get paid for it. And the idea was always if that outweighed the day job, yo-ho, you know, that was the moment when you went professional.
McCartney has been many things over the last 3 decades: a hardcore rock and roller, a pure pop star, a trailblazing bassist, and, of course, the cutest guy in the world's most popular band.
My love don't give me present.
But above all else, from the beginning, he's been a world-class songwriter.
But I liked the idea of being able to say to people, you know, well, I wrote this, you know, even if it was bad, it was kind of good to enter the group of people who actually wrote something instead of just listen to other people's records. And I tried quite a bit then. John and I started to get together. We used to get off school, play a little truant. I know we shouldn't, but, you know, we were young and foolish. And so we'd go to my house when my dad was at work and no one was in. And we'd sit around trying to write songs, you know, and they were fairly bad, the first few. But then we hit Love Me Do, and that was the first one that started to sound a little bit like a song.
Love me do.
Love Me Do eventually took the Beatles to #1 on the U.S. charts. But in the beginning, even George Martin, the man who went on to produce all of their records, wasn't convinced they'd ever make it.
Love me do.
It wasn't until we actually got in the studio and started working together that they really emerged as being pretty brilliant. And they started really thinking about songwriting in a very serious way. So Please Please Me was the first really good track, I think, that came out of them. Up to that moment, I didn't think they could write a hit song.
The very early stuff that John and I wrote was From Me to You, She Loves You, I Want to Hold Your Hand, P.S. I Love You, Love Me Do. And that became a conscious thing, Please Please Me. Well, it was very personal, and you were kind of talking to your audience, and it seemed a good thing to do.
Yesterday, love was such an easy game to play.
Beatles music was always an amalgamation of John Lennon's acerbic wit and McCartney's sweeter pop instincts. But in 1965, the group scored its 10th #1 hit with a song McCartney had written on his own, a song that has since been aired in this country alone more than 5 million times and has been covered by more than 2,500 other performers.
It's the strangest one ever, because I dreamed it. That's the